So this is what we're playing tonight. Call of Cthulhu. This is from the starter set. So yeah, this was put out by Chaosism Games. And it's pretty cool. It comes with, I think it comes with a decent amount of stuff for a starter set. Because it comes with Book 1, which is the introduction game that we're going to play tonight. And then Book 2 is the starter rules, and the Book 3 is an adventure. And it comes with ready-made investigators, blank investigator sheets, dice, and handouts. So, cute hat. Oh, thank you! I got it at Disney World. Well, at Epcot. In the Japan section. So this is what we're going to be playing tonight. Yeah, so it comes with that adventure that we're going to be running. And then it's got the introductory rules here. And then Book 3, if I am brave enough, this is the adventure that I will be running here on stream for some friends. So look forward to that. I keep telling you guys so that I'll make myself be brave enough to run it. I'm really nervous about running games on stream. That's why I haven't done it yet. Alright, so I think we need to choose an investigator. So let me take a look what it says here. Review of the game. Winners and losers. Da, da, da. Alrighty. It's time to take on your first adventure, alone against the flames. A horror story set in the 1920s where you are the main character and your choices determine the outcome. It is designed to lead you through the basic rules of the game in a gradual and entertaining fashion. Although most such adventures are played with your friends, this one is just for you. Don't worry that there may be still things you don't fully understand yet. The rules are explained as you play through the game. You'll even be shown how to create your own investigator. Cool! Cool! That's awesome. Before you begin to play, make sure you have Book 2 nearby, as you will need to refer to this while you play. You don't need to read Book 2 before you start playing. You will also require one of the blank investigator sheets from the box. You'll also need a pencil and some notepaper. Oh. I didn't know we were going to be creating an investigator. I think I will just use one of the investigators for the sake of time. If you're stressed, don't think of what could go wrong. Instead, make a list of everything that could go right. Helps me with things I sometimes struggle with. Oh, that's a great way to look at that. I mean, I just don't have... I mean, I guess I could talk you guys. No, I think we'll do creating an investigator separately later when I have a camera set up for that. I didn't set up a camera for that. I'll have to do a different layout for that. So tonight we're just going to use one of the existing investigators. Let's see. So we've got Jessie Williams, occupation history student. She's from Arkham, Boston. Let's see. We've got Keiko Kane. She's a science student. She's from San Francisco. Then there's Lois Russo. She's an engineering student. She's from New York. We've got Nevada Jones, which is really funny because I was going to say Indiana Jones because he looks remarkably like Indiana Jones. That might be who we play. And then, yeah, he's from Winnipeg, Canada. He's not even American. And then we have Wentworth Avebury. He's also from New York. He is a languages professor. I think we're gonna play Nevada Jones. Yep. So let's go over our character sheet. My strength is 60. I don't know what any of these things mean yet. My con is 50. Is that my size? S-I-Z? Probably. It's 40. Dex is 70, so I'm dexterous. Alright. APP. I'm not sure what that is, but we'll figure it out as we go. Canadian cousin, maybe. Indiana's Nevada cousin from Canada, Nevada Jones. So we're gonna need book 2, so I'm gonna pull that out. Alright. Let's see. My intelligence is 60. My education is 80. At least I think that's what that means. EDU. That's usually what that means, right? Our power is 50. Move rate is 9. Major wound. Are my hit points 9? I have 9 hit points. Oh. This might be bad. I'm trained in archaeology, charm, climb, dodge, drive, like drive an automobile, fighting, so like brawling, firearms, handgun, first aid, history, intimidate, jump, language, Latin, language, English, library use. Ooh, I would be trained in that. Listen, natural world, navigate, occult, persuade, psychology, sleight of hand, spot, hidden, stealth, swim, throw, and track. I carry a 38 handgun and fists. You guys let me know if the music is too loud. I will turn it. You know what? I'm actually just going to go ahead and turn it down pretty far. We don't want it too loud. There we go. Personal description. Handsome, but a little rough around the edges. Below average height, wears a suit when necessary, but prefers more casual attire. His father, Frank Jones, whose own discoveries made him famous, Nevada feels overshadowed by his father. That's under significant people. Meaningful location. A bar where strong drinks are sold and where he can forget his troubles. Treasured possessions. His St. Christopher medallion, which he believes is a good luck charm. Traits. Reckless. Tends to jump in feet first before thinking. That sounds about right. Let's see. Quick reference for rules. Okay, so I think we tend to need to roll under the number. We use percentile a lot. Major wound is loss of half your HP in one attack. Reach 0 HP without major wound, unconscious. Reach 0 HP with major wound, dying. Natural heal rate, 1 HP per day. Oh dear. And there's a weekly healing roll. Oh dear. Alright, so that's us. We're Nevada Jones. I'm gonna pull out our dice. So yeah, I think I'll do a separate... You know what? I just realized. Hold the phone. We can't get started. I didn't post in Discord that we were live, guys. Terrible of me. I have people who depend on that. Oh, oops. That's not what I meant. Dang it. There we go. My bad. Oh, snap. Alrighty, so yeah, like I said, on a separate stream, we'll learn how to create a character, but tonight, I'm just gonna use Nevada Jones. Nevada Jones. Oh, that's really weird. I wonder why I have 2 percentile. It's because we've got a set that's all green. You know, I think... Sorry guys, I set up the dice cam like super last minute. I actually think I want to zoom in on that a little bit. So we're going to put that... And then I'll just chop it to like here. And then we'll resize it to fit. Do 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 do. Yep. There. But yeah, they've got a set that's both green, but then they've got a set where you've got the blue. So we'll probably use the blue, because that's more fun, having 2 different colors. I think. Okie dokie. So. Let's see. Once you have completed the adventure, perhaps surviving or not, that's the thing is, we might not survive this game tonight. You can then read book 2, but before then, settle in a comfortable chair and prepare to be alone against the flames. That is the name of the adventure that we are playing tonight. Hello, Dupree! Alright, I'm just gonna do a disclaimer at the beginning of this that once I start reading from the book, unless we're taking a pause to learn a mechanic, I will probably not be reading out notifications, just so you guys know. Just because I want it to be a more focused experience for us. But yeah, welcome in. Thank you so much for the resub. I appreciate it. Thank you. We are getting ready to do the solo adventure, for those of you just coming in, the solo adventure called Alone Against the Flames for the Call of Cthulhu starter set for the tabletop. Like I said, put out by Chaosism. So lots of reading for me tonight, so we'll probably be taking a short break partway through so I can get more water. Yeah, so here we go. The sun is high in the sky, a merciless ball of heat. You feel scorched by the time you reach the bus, halt in front of Osborne's drugstore. It's a relief to put down your heavy cases and take off your hat for a moment. You fan your face. It has been a long summer here in your hometown, and yet a curiously empty one. You look across the street at the grubby butcher's shop, the grocer's with its faded awning, and the shabby tobacconist. Mistrustful faces glare at you as they pass by, eyeing your clothes and luggage. It was your parents' choice to live here, not yours. You were happy down south as a child, among Providence's white-walled houses and leafy churchyards. Perhaps this new job in Arkham will supply the change you need. Yet everybody you know in the world lives here. You know nobody in Arkham, not one soul. You ask yourself one last time if you're doing the right thing. The answer is here. None of your supposed friends have come to see you off. You are alone. Whatever challenges lie in Arkham, it will be a new life, and a brave one. A small gray motor coach approaches and rattles to a stop. You put your hat back on and pick up your cases. Alright, it tells us to go to page 263. Well, not page 263, but there's like little excerpts back. Not page, it's like excerpt 263. Two young men with sullen expressions alight from the coach. One looks you up and down before heading away. The driver also steps down, glancing at you before crossing the road to visit the tobacconist. When he returns, he is rolling a cigarette between his yellowed fingers. He gives it a final twist and examines you as he reaches for his matchbox. He's a thin man in his 50s, dressed in a stained shirt with the bus company emblem, yet his eyes are sharp in their dark sockets. Where to? You show him your ticket for Ossipee. From there, you will reconnect to Rochester and Portsmouth before the coastal line to Newburyport and finally Arkham. You should be able to afford a rail ticket for for at least some of the way. Otherwise, this will be the first of many long bus trips. Driver scratches the match and lights his cigarette. The end flares as he takes a draw. Then he exhales and gestures to the back of the coach. Luggage racks up there. Alright, so we're going to look at our investigator sheet. At the top, you have spaces for 8 characteristics. Strength, constitution, power, dexterity, appearance, size, intelligence, and education. Allow the following values among them, writing in the large square. If you would like more information about what the characteristics mean, read such and such page. Alright, when you have done that, go to excerpt 8. The driver smokes and watches as you drag your cases to the back of the motor coach. The rack is set inconveniently high on the vehicle. You get a grip of the heaviest case. Alright, if your size is 40, go to 23. If your size is higher, go to 38. Our size is 40. So we're going to go to excerpt 23. You struggle for a few seconds before the driver comes up beside you and lends a hand, still puffing on his cigarette. Have bags for a small un, he remarks. You judge it best to respond with a simple thanks. 233. The driver flicks his cigarette into the gutter and steps into the motor coach. Its engine coughs into life. You board, grateful that you will be the only passenger for the initial part of your trip at least. With mixed emotions, you watch from the window as the tired avenues of your old home slip behind you, receding into the distance. For a few minutes, you can still see the church spire over the brow of a low hill. Then the road dips, and it too is gone. Arkham is your new home. You will travel there and make a new start. Let's see. Oh, you will travel there and make a new start. Let's see, you will see 2 smaller boxes to the right of each characteristic value. Have each value, rounding down, and write the result in the upper right box. Also, divide each value by 5. Ooh, so much math. Again, rounding down, and write the result in the lower right box. I think they've already done this for me. Yeah, okay. because I'm using a pre-written character. We will use these numbers later. If you're using the interactive PDF version of the investigator sheet, you'll see... Ooh! There's an interactive PDF version. Cool, cool. That's good to know. We'll need to look that up later. That would have been really good for tonight. I haven't read this at all yet because I wanted to be fresh for the adventure. Let's see. If in the strip below, you'll see tracks that record sanity and magic points. Beginning sanity is equal to your original power, and beginning magic points are the same as the value you've just assigned for power divided by 5. Okay, so I have 10 magic points, and my sanity is 50. Nice. Hey, thank you so much for that shout out. Alright, so now we're going to go to excerpt 134. You guys see why I waited till I was no longer coughing to do this? All the reading. The coach putters through the countryside. At first, the interior is stifling and your stomach lurches with every bend of the road. However, the driver opens his window, and by switching seats, you find a spot where the breeze hits your face. You soon relax into the journey, observing the quaint little hamlets that the coach serves. A heavy-set woman boards at one settlement and gives you a polite nod. She gets off at the next one. The road rises a little, passing cornfields and orchards. The leaves are turning and the trees are alive with glorious reds and golds. You have just begun to doze when the driver takes a tight bend at speed. Alright. Add size and con together, then divide the total by 10, rounding down. This is the starting value for your hit points. Alright, I already have that. I also have, role-playing dice on page 4, blah, blah, blah. If you rolled equal to your dex or less, you pass the roll. If you rolled greater than dex, you failed the roll. Okay. So, we need to make a dex check. So how we do that is we have our dex score. Does it need to be the divided one? Blah, blah, blah. You must make a roll against your dex roll. This means rolling 2, rolling 10s. Yeah, I think I just need to be under my dex. I also have a luck score. Roll 3d6. 5 by the beginning of the luck. Okay, I know that luck's gonna come in later. Where is luck on here? Oh, there it is. Ooh, I have lots of luck. Cool. Alright, so it's our first roll of the game. We're making a dexterity save. We need to roll under 70. So if you look at our character sheet, where it says Dex 70, when you make a check, an ability check, you need to roll under the number. So that's a pretty high number, so let's hope that we make this. All right, 30. So we've got the 3, 30, and this is 0, so 30%. So we made it. In fact, not only did we make it, but we made it awesome. Alright, so now, since we made it, we're going to go to excerpt 261. A desperate yell awakens you. You feel yourself slide from the seat as the driver spins the wheel and the motor coach plunges off the road. You grab hold of the seat in front, just in time to prevent a painful fall. The coach stops with a thump. Now you see what has happened. A Fordson tractor has stopped in the road and your driver had to swerve to avoid the steel obstacle. He leads Oh, he leaps from his seat into the road, unleashing a string of curses at the farmer. You take a moment to catch your breath. Perhaps you should offer assistance, but the driver has already returned. He backs up the coach a little and threads it around the tractor, glaring at the farmer. So we did not fall out of our seat. Yay! I have fallen out of my seat on a bus before. It is not pleasant. So now we're supposed to move to 71. You resume your journey. The driver takes the curves with more caution than before. He glances over his shoulder at you a couple of times. "Sorry about before," he says. "That fellow was dumber than a hog. I'm Silas. What's your name?" The accident was at least as much Silas's fault as the farmer's, but it doesn't seem shrewd to antagonize the man while he is driving you through the middle of nowhere. Make up a name for your character. Okay, well, we're just gonna go with Nevada. The coach. Oh, so we're gonna introduce ourselves. Nevada Jones. Coach turns onto a narrow road, which weaves uphill through woodland. Silas becomes chatty. "Going to Arkham, eh? Can't say I ever heard of the place. Went to Boston once. Didn't like it. Too much hustle and bustle. You got family there? Special someone waiting?" The afternoon is wearing on. You see no harm in confiding in Silas about your new life. "A job, eh? What's your line?" I am a archaeology professor. I'm not any of these. Oh, professor. So 265. Ding, 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 ding. Wow, it's like the last page. Yes. Second to last page. You explain you're joining the faculty at the renowned Miskatonic University. It's only a junior position with teaching and tutoring duties, but the institution is well regarded. Who knows where the appointment might lead? A symposium, a visiting lectureship, even one of its world-spanning expeditions. Silas wrinkles his nose. "I had enough of book learning when I was youngin'. Still, I suppose it's well enough for those who like it." Let's see, your credit rating skill is 30%. Is it? Where's my credit rating skill? Nope. Mine's 40. Let's see. Your occupation skill. Oh, I see. It's teaching me how to write up the character. Alright, go to 128. 122 and 8. 122 and 8. You realize Silas hasn't made a stop since the incident with the tractor. The motor coach winds its way uphill. However, your thoughts are interrupted as the road crests a ridge and you are wow. Let's try that again. The motor coach winds its way uphill. However, your thoughts are interrupted as the road crests a ridge and you are treated to a magnificent view of the vista below. A creek snakes through the valley, breaking with rich autumn palette of trees. In the distance, the white mountains rise into hazy cloud. There's no settlement, not even a cabin as far as the eye can see. Birds drift through the treetops, and you can just make out what might be two white-tailed deer lingering by the water. Perhaps you're making a mistake by moving to the city. Could you survive on your own in this lush wilderness? Let's see. You have a base ability in most skills, listed in brackets after. Oh, oops. It's just telling me about my skills. I'm like reading it like I'm reading the rest of it. So you have a Base ability skill. In most skills, blah, blah, blah. For instance, you have 20% climb and base dodge, blah, blah, blah. Choose force. Okay. Now go to 144. I wish they would, like, do the not flavor text, like, bold, so that I know not to read it out loud. But it's probably also not expecting me to do this on stream. The motor coach rattles on through the hills, and Silas lapses into silence. The sky darkens behind you, pinks tinting the clouds at the sun as the sun descends. Finally, a welcome sight comes into view, a settlement on the crest of a hill. This doesn't look like the pictures you've seen of Ossipee, but perhaps you can persuade Silas to stop while you stretch your legs. Minutes later, a harsh stuttering from the engine interrupts your reverie. Silas frowns and rattles the gear stick. The motor coach falters in its ascent. Silas utters a curse, and you don't recognize the grinds of, mutters a curse you don't recognize and grinds his teeth, struggling at the wheel. You seem to inch up the hill until you reach the first buildings, low dwellings constructed from a rough red stone. Silas wrestles the coach into a small bay off the road. He scrambles from his seat and makes for the engine compartment. All right. So I need to do a drive auto check. So my drive auto check is 20. So I need to roll under 20 to succeed. Let's see. So I can do auto or psychology. My psychology is 40%. But I need to make a hard. So I still need to roll under 20. Because a hard check is half the number of the skill. So either way, we need to roll under 20. Should we roll for auto or should we roll for psychology? Whoever types their first idea in chat, that's what we'll do. So, drive or psychology? Unless everyone's just lurking, then I'll wait a minute and I'll make my own decision. Drive, okay. Hammond says drive. So we need to try and get under 20%. Nope. That's an 80. Oh, oops, I rolled 2. Wait a minute. Where'd my other D10 go? Where's my... Hold on. Oh, here we go. I rolled the wrong ones. So we try again. Here's the other, but... 55. So we did not make it. Which means... if you fail, go to 194. Alright. Silas opens the engine compartment open and sticks his head inside. The hot metal pops and sizzles. He pokes at various components, then withdraws and wipes his brow, smearing it with dark grease. I ain't sure what's wrong. Might be the oil pressure. Might be something knocked off kilter when we took that spill. Can't do much until the engine cools neither. And with the light failing, I reckon we'll be here through the night. Wipes his hand on a rag. The shadows from your surroundings are already long, and the air is chilly. You feel stiff from the journey, and a night in the rickety coach sounds unappealing. Silas sees your dismay. This here's Amberhead, miles from any place. I only come through twice a week, but the folks are good people. May Ledbetter keeps a spare room. She'll look after you. Up that alley, turn right, first house on the left. He scratches his cheeks, looks again into the engine compartment, and spits on the ground. Meet me back here at 8 in the morning, and we'll see how we stand. Alrighty. So to look for May Ledbetter's house, go to 267. To ask Silas where he will spend the night, go to 251. Or to challenge Silas about the breakdown, go to 257. Alright, guys. Do we want to look for May's house, ask Silas where he's spending the night, or challenge him on the breakdown? So whoever types in there first, whoever answers first, that's what we'll do. So either go to the lady's house. Alright, we're gonna challenge. Ooh, we're gonna challenge. Never played Call of Cthulhu? Big Pogs. Ooh, you know what? I've never played it either. That's why I'm doing the solo adventure. So it should be cool. Alright, so we're gonna challenge Silas, which means 257. If I'm brave enough, I'm gonna run a game on stream with players. Alright, you confront Silas with your suspicions. His brow darkens and he shows a mouth full of twisted teeth. Ain't that just like you city types? He spits, thinking the worst of a man after he's gone out of his way to attend to your comfort. He stalks around to the back of the coach and hauls your bags from the rack, dumping them on the ground at your feet. Take 'em, otherwise I guess you'll be accusing me of thievery in the morning. He marches off into the darkness, raging. That could have gone better. Alright, so now we need to go to 267. At least you have your stuff. Yeah. You drag your cases between the sullen buildings. You feel surprisingly weary, considering you've spent all day sitting down. Silas's directions lead you to a modest dwelling with a slate roof. A nameplate reads, Ledbetter. And underneath a sign in the neat copper plate reads, Lodging Room. The lane around you is gloomy, but a lamp flickers in the window. A breeze chills your face. You're not about to begin your new life by sleeping in the street. You rap on the weather-beaten door. So now we go to number 4. After a moment, you hear footsteps inside the house. A bolt is drawn back, and the wooden door swings open. A figure with loose curls and a rough-looking house dress peers at you. Her gaze takes in your traveling suit and your cases. Her voice is a slight Irish lilt. Oh no. Hello. Should I take it you're looking for a room for the night? You inquire as to her rates, suppressing a grimace. As far as you've seen, the village does not offer many alternatives. Oh, you'll find them very reasonable, she says. You look tired. I'm May. Come inside and we'll talk over a cup of tea. The Ledbetter house feels cramped with a low ceiling and simple fittings, but it is well kept and a cheerful fire crackles in the grate. The aroma of tea is soothing and the cup warms your fingers. Have you come to Emberhead for the festival? Asks May. Oh. So to explain what happened with Silas or ask about the festival. Okay. Are we gonna explain about Silas or ask about the festival? Ask about the festival. Alright. So, number 21. Well now, I suppose the festival's about the only reason folks come to Emberhead. I thought you had maybe come to study it or take photographs. Well, it's not tomorrow night, but the night after. I suppose it looks very strange to a passerby. May tops off your tea. The spout chinks against your cup. We've got the beacon, you see. One night every year there's a torchlit procession and we light the beacon on the cliffs. You've never seen the like of it. They say it keeps the spirit of the village alive for another year. It's a celebration. A celebration. She trails off for a moment and blinks. But you didn't come here to listen to me blather, and you must be hungry. I can wrestle up a bit of a stew. How would that be? You ask again about her rates, and May names a price so low you accept it without hesitation. The room is small, but comfortable, and the stew dark and hearty. After dinner, you have a couple of hours before your usual bedtime. All right, so we can talk to May some more, walk around and get your bearings, or turn in for an early night. What should we do, guys? Talk to May, walk around, turn in early. Go to beddy bye. What would you guys like to do? Alright, we're going to talk to May. So, we're going to go to number 31. May talks about life in Emberhead. In her letters, my sister always asks if I'm not bored living in such a small place. She lives in New York. Then she writes about how frightened she is to walk home at night. I ask you. You mention your hopes for a new life in Arkham. May doesn't seem to hear you. It's a small place here, yes, but that means we have real community. Everybody's face is known. Everybody works together. Nobody's excluded. Except those who choose to exclude themselves, of course. I couldn't live anywhere else now. Alright, so we need to make a charm roll. So, let's see. Let's look at our character sheet. Our charm. Ooh. So, 50? 50 is our charm. So, we've got a 50-50 chance on making this charm check. No. That's a 72. Let me make sure that's... sad. Alright, so if we don't make our charm check, we go to 51. Lord Jesus, why you do this, right? Because it's fun. It's fun, villain. Alright. As the hour wears on, you are amused to hear May transform into a sort of tired tourist guide. Of course the views from here are spectacular on a good day, a clear view all the way around. If you're a painter, you'll be right at home. If your tastes run more along the artisan, there are workshops on Salisbury Street, just at the end there. Oh, here, and turn right. They're not set up for visitors, you understand, but you'll see the real craftsman at work, the genuine article. Now, if you're looking for freshly baked bread, it seems a shame to point out that you intend to be on the road again shortly. You let May continue until she begins to yawn. Would you listen to me yappin'? Time to turn in. When would you like your breakfast? Alright, we go to 63. As May stands, you hear a clunk behind you. You look over your shoulder, but all you can see is a wooden door securely closed. May Tuts, the young lady of the house. She'll have been listening to us. Ruth! Come and greet our guest. There's a short pause and the door creaks open. Two wide eyes peer at you from the gap, between tousled hair and a rough nightgown. What you say? The eyes blinked. Pleased to meet you. Now get back to bed. The door closes again. My daughter Ruth, 10 years this summer. She's a delight and a torment all in one. Don't worry, she sleeps in with me. She'll not disturb you. Good night now. You retire to your room. It is a little chilly, but you're too tired to worry about lighting the fire. The sheets are clean and the bed soon warms up. The silence outside is strange after living in a town for so long, but you soon drop off. Ooh. 154, I think, is what it said. Yeah. So we turn to 154. All right. Here we go. You dream of fire in the grate. Coruscating colors shimmering through the dancing tongues of flame. At first, they are tiny, almost microscopic, but they grow and grow until a kaleidoscope inferno spills from the fireplace, spreading across the floor, up the sheets. You wake with a start. Daylight glints through the curtains. You get up and examine the grate, blinking the sleep from your eyes. It's quite cold. If you've taken any damage, you may heal 1 hit point back for your night's sleep. Well, I haven't taken any damage, so I think I know where this is going. Oh. So we're going to move on to 166. May seems to have no running water, but has supplied some in a ceramic jug. You freshen up at the washstand and go in. She cooks a hearty breakfast and leaves you in peace to eat. At about 7:30, you're paid up, packed, and ready to go. You bid May goodbye, and she wishes you the best of your new career in Arkham. If you succeeded a skill roll last night and wish to investigate the results further, go to 178. Otherwise, 192. The only skills we tried to do last night, we failed at, so we have to go to 192. You are already tired of your heavy bags. Hopefully, Silas has repaired the motor coach and you can resume your long journey. A sourpuss he might be, but the old driver seemed to understand his vehicle well enough. You pause to check your watch, still 20 minutes early, and round the final corner. The motor coach is gone. You put your bags down and search the area, trekking up and down slopes and around corners. At the edge of the village, you trace the long road back as it winds across the hills. 8 o'clock comes and goes. There's no coach to be seen. A passing villager notices your bags. "Looking for the bus? I heard him take off at first light. He's due back in 3 or 4 days, if you need a place to stay." May Ledbetter rents a room. The man raises his hat to you and strolls into the village. You curse Silas under your breath. Perhaps he went for parts, but you wonder if the old goat has stranded you here on purpose. Alright, so now we go to 218. So on purpose. Absolutely. He left us in the dust. May is doing laundry and looks surprised to see you again. "Forget something?" When you explain the situation, she offers to store your bags while you try to arrange alternative transport. You are grateful to relinquish the load. "Nobody here has anything like a car." She strokes her chin and narrows her eyes. "Maybe you could find somebody with a horse and a cart for your bags. I could ask around later. Try Mr. Winters at the village hall. He'll know if anyone will. Or ask among the artisans. Their workshops are first left on Salisbury Street." She reaches over and squeezes your wrist. "Don't worry. I won't see you sleeping in the street, money or no money." You thank May and turn to face the village. Freaking bus driver, guys, left us. Rude. He's getting a 1-star review. You wander the streets of Emberhead without any particular destination in mind. The village is built on a relatively flat upland with splendid views. To the north, the hazy tips of the White Mountains reach for the heavens. To the south, the sparkling waters of Lake Winnipesaukee touch the horizon. The village itself takes less than 5 minutes to cross from edge to edge. You arrive on the winding road to the west. The only other road leads to the south, following a lower ridge of land as it turns east. In the southwest of the village, an open grassy space borders a ruined church, its graveyard cresting the cliffs. To the northeast, the three main thoroughfares meet at a raised black metal structure. It looms stark against the blue sky. All right. We can ask about transport at the general store, seek out the village hall, walk down to the lower level and check out the eastern road, examine the large metal structure, explore the church, or look for local people with their own transport needs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 options. So ask about transport at the general store, seek out the village hall, walk down to the lower level, examine the large metal structure, explore the church, or look for local people with their own transport. What would you guys like to do? First one to answer is what we'll do. Oh, examine the structure. Psh, Big Boss is on this. All right. Examine the... Okay, so we go to 57. You walk up the approach, the most central of the village's major streets. It points directly at the odd metal structure. As you emerge from the shade of the nearby buildings, you are greeted by a magnificent panorama spread from the north to the southeast. The last colors of fall tint in the hills a sleepy gold. The structure, by contrast, is made from uncompromising iron, singed black. It supports an immense curved platform at the level of your head. Further struts snake up a central point. It looks like they may have been some kind of sculpture at one time, but are now twisted and melted beyond recognition. An older gentleman passes, looking up at you with rheumy eyes. "Are you here for the festival?" he asks. "That's the beacon. When they light it, night after next, you'll be able to see it 10 miles away." He gives a little nod of satisfaction, then moves on, leaning on his walking stick. Now you notice bundles of wood tied and stacked against the buildings nearby. Perhaps this festival would be an interesting diversion, but you really must head to Arkham as soon as possible. Alright, so we're gonna make a spot hidden roll. What's our spot hidden skill? Let's check our sheet. Alright, so 50%. So once again, we've got a 50-50 chance of making this check. 53. So we still don't make it. We are just not doing so hot on these rolls. Alright. If you succeed, otherwise go to 25. Alright. Darn. You're beginning to get your bearings in Emberhead. Would you like to explore some more? Let's see. So, we can ask about transport at the... Oh, wait. Hold on. You may choose another option from these below. Do not repeat a previous choice once you have tried 4 options. Oh, okay. Cool. So, again, we can ask about transport at the general store. We can seek out the village hall, walk down to the lower level, explore the church, or look for local people with transport. What would y'all like to do? General store. Okay. So 16. Okie doke. The general store is on a corner beside the main road, just before it plunges to the south. The shopkeeper is a brisk, immense lady with a starched apron and strong shoulders. She looks hard at you, your unfamiliar face. Transport? There's a motor coach comes through twice a week. Missed it? Truck brings in my supplies every second Tuesday, but he's not due until next week. She shrugs. It seems Emberhead is content to keep its distance from the outside world. Let's see. You have enough money to buy 1 or 2 inexpensive everyday items here. Note them down on your investigator sheet. Remember, the year is 1927. The shop stocks no weapons except a dusty hunting knife, which you may purchase if you want. Should we buy the dusty hunting knife? Yeah, yes. Buy the knife. Let me grab my pencil here and note it in our weapons. Hunting knife. I don't know what the stats are for that. It doesn't tell me. So I'll just write it down. We'll figure it out later if we need it. I do carry a 38 handgun. Alright, so we're going to go to 25. Again. And we get to choose. We need to pick two more activities. So we can seek out the village hall, walk to the lower level, explore the church, or look for local people with transport. I have a feeling you'll need to cut some ropes. So what's our next activity, guys? Village hall, walk to the lower level, explore the church, or ask people about transport. Trying to let other people have a turn? Well, I mean, if they're not replying fast enough. I appreciate that. I mean, I could roll randomly. Let's roll a d4. I'll pick it this time. Oh, church it is then. Alright, Ammon's got an answer. Church it is. So the church is 34. You cross the street towards the church. As you glance to your left, your gaze alights on the large metal structure. Something bothers you about its positioning. You back up and look again. Yes, Emberhead's central thoroughfare points directly at the structure. This seems too precise to be a coincidence. You press on and draw into the shadow of the church. The building is in a sorry state. The top of the steeple is missing, a ragged gash of splintered boards marking its absence, and the floors beneath it have collapsed. It appears to have torn through the roof of the main building as it fell. Only the back half is still intact. The white paint, which once covered the church, has yellowed and peeled. It seems safe enough to explore the rear section. Old pews are stacked against the wall, choked with mildew. Most of the windows are broken. You guess this church has been disused for about 20 years. There is little more to interest you. Right? Let's see. We're going to make a ride roll. You may have a bonus die. Roll the tens percentage die twice and take the lower result. Oh, okay. How do I know if I have a bonus die roll? Oh, I am not trained in this skill. So this is going to be really hard. I'm not trained, so our percentage is, it's 5%. I do not have a bonus die roll, I don't think. So I'm not entirely sure how that works. Let's see if book 2 tells us really quick about bonus. Yeah, I can't imagine I have a bonus die roll because I don't have... I'm not even trained in that skill. Let's see, skill rolls and difficulty levels, blah, blah, blah. Opposed. Bonus and penalty dice. Sometimes the prevailing conditions for this investigators and or the time available to them can hinder or benefit a skill characteristic roll. Under certain conditions, the keeper may grant a bonus or a penalty die. Let's see, one bonus die and one penalty die cancel each other out. Most bonuses and penalties operate in a similar way to raising the difficulty of a roll. Normally, though, bonus and penalty die are used primarily with opposed rolls. Okay, well, we'll learn about that later then. So it tells us... Make a ride roll. You may have a bonus die. Okay, so we're going to roll this with 2 10s. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll both 10s with our regular here, and we take the lowest one. We need to roll stupid low, though. Like, yeah, 5%. And here's, well, thank you, Jackie. No. Wow. What? It's like, take the lowest roll. They're literally the same. They're both 22. Which is too high. But the fact that they're both 22, because you're supposed to roll 2 and then take the lowest, but they're the same. Alright, we didn't make our ride check, which means we're going back to 25. Alright, so we need to pick our last activity. I'm going to choose the last activity by rolling a d6 and dividing by 2. Or not. I mean, not dividing by 2, but like 1. Anyway, so we're going to seek out the village hall. Why is this one? That's not the one I want. Hold on. Here we go. So, we're going to go 84. So we're going to go seek out the village hall. The village hall backs against a cliff at the east end of Silbury Street. It's the largest building you've seen so far in Emberhead. It is, however, locked and shuttered. You walk around it, peering through gaps in the shutters. There seems to be one large room, presumably for community meetings, and a smaller annex that serves as an office and archive. One of the windows is bricked up. Back at the main door, you can see no posted opening hours. Mr. Winters doesn't open up mornings this time of year, says a gray-garbed woman passing by. Best come back this afternoon. You ask whether the office has a telegraph. Don't know, she shrugs. Who would we call? You will have to try again later. So, back to 25. So far, we've come up with Jack. There has been nothing helpful to us. But that's okay. Alright, so now we are going to number 3. So we've done 4 activities. We haven't made... It's true, that's true. We do have a dusty hunting knife. We do have that. Alright. You wander the streets of Emberhead without any particular destination in mind. The village is built on a relatively flat upland with splendid views. To the north, the hazy tips of the white... Oh, wait, I feel like I've already read this. Oh, no, I haven't. To the north, the hazy tips of the White Mountains reach for the heavens. To the south, the sparkling waters of Lake wait, I've already said this one. Winnipesaukee touch the horizon. The village itself... Oh, I see. They just used the same description there. The village itself takes less than 5 minutes to cross from edge to edge. You arrive on the winding road to the west. The only other road leads up to the north, following a lower ridge of land as it turns east. In the southwest of the village, an open grassy space borders a ruined church, its graveyard cresting the cliffs. To the northeast, the three main thoroughfares meet at a raised... Wait, I've already read this. Am I supposed to be reading 6 or am I supposed to be reading 3? I'm supposed to be reading 3. My apologies. Your morning exertions have left you hungry. You roam the streets of Emberhead looking for sustenance. There's nothing resembling the busy cafes of your hometown or anything that might be called a restaurant. It is beginning to look like you will have to get supplies from the general store when May Ledbetter comes down the street with a girl trailing in her wake. This must be Ruth. As she notices you, she races past her mother and approaches you with a smile. This is a different Ruth from the shy creature of last night. As she reaches you, she stops and stretches her arm up with celebration. She looks up into your eyes. Abruptly, the smile drops from her face and she looks several years older. "Get out before the festival!" she hisses. "Get out!" She blinks hard, then scuttles back towards her mother. May approaches, wrapping an arm around her daughter's shoulders. She smiles. "How you getting on? Have you found transport?" Startled, you explain the frustrations of the situation. "I'd try Mr. Winters in the village hall. He's always in of an afternoon." "You'll be hungry, my now. Help yourself to any food in the house. The door's not locked." You glance at Ruth where she'd squirreled herself behind her mother's leg. Her eyes implore you to silence. Ooh, she wants us to leave. Alright, we have 3 choices here. If you ask Ruth about what she said, go to 9. So we can ask Ruth about what she said. We can ask Mary about what Ruth said. Not Mary, May. Or we can say nothing. Looking for sustenance. Not food! Sustenance. Yep. So ask Ruth. Oh, we're going to do nothing. Alright, Ammon says do nothing. So we go to number 22. We're just going to be freaked out. That's fine. Like, You take your leave of the Ledbetters and head towards their house. The door opens easily. In the low kitchen, you make a meal from stodgy bread and leftover stew. A little window offers a view of the mountains. If you learned one thing this morning, it was that Emberhead's streets hold little to occupy the visitor from out of town, but there's still about 5 hours of daylight remaining. You could take some provisions and the bare essentials from your luggage and set out in hope of reaching another settlement before dark. Or you could ask advice from this Mr. Winters. Thank you, Azure. Alright, guys. Are we gonna walk out of town? Well, are we gonna act like we're gonna leave? Or are we gonna go talk to Mr. Winters? Leave or Mr. Winters? Alright, let's go talk to Mr. Winters. The village hall overlooks the lower north ridge of the village. You walk along Silbury Street to find it. conscious of the oppressive black metal structure framed at the end of the road. The shutters of the hall are open and some windows left ajar. There is no knocker, but a little bell over the entrance tinkles as you push the front door. Inside, a sturdy door to your right is marked private. To your left, an opening leads through the bright room. You take a few steps inside. Benches line the walls, and there are 2 notice boards mounted between the windows. Alright, so we can examine the notice boards or knock on the door. What would you like to do? Examine. Alright. The floorboards creak beneath you as you cross the room. You feel a slight spring in your step. Perhaps this room is used as a gymnasium for the village children. You notice... One notice board appears to be for the adults of the community, and one for the children. The former looks neglected, featuring handwritten advertisements for household items and a yellowed note about telegraph pricing. There is nothing about the festival. The children's notice board has a schedule for weekly creche services and a number of paintings obviously done by children themselves. Most are incoherent, though colorful. As best you can tell, they depict fireworks, or perhaps the tale of Joseph from the book of Genesis. One has lost a pin and hangs upside down. It shows a giant bird attacking Emberhead. Or it might simply be that the artist has not yet mastered the subtleties of scale. Okay, so we're going to make a spot hidden roll. So, what was our spot hidden? 50%. Alright, we have a 50% chance. Good grief. Come on. Come on. 86. Okay, that's another... We are bad at this. So we fail. Okay? So if you fail, go to 37. Gosh, guys. The door scrapes behind you. A middle-aged, bespectacled gentleman appears in the doorway. May I help you? You explain you are visiting on May Ledbetter's recommendation. Well, I'm Clyde Winters. I'm not sure I can help you, but would you care for some coffee? I'm partial to a cup in the afternoon. My kind of dude. He gestures to the door open behind him. This seems like a worthwhile opportunity, and you are a little thirsty. Not that coffee's really going to assist in that, but that's okay. What did we just read? We need to go to 43. You step through the door marked private. The other side of the village hall is in marked contrast to the public space. The room is compact, lined with shelves of books and file alcoves. One corner is reserved for a tiny pantry and what is presumably a water closet. You study Mr. Winters as he fills the percolator. Although thin on top, his hair is oiled and neatly swept back. His suit is a sober affair and well-tailored, even if the cut is a little old-fashioned. A lesser man working alone might have loosened his bow tie for comfort. On the desk against the opposite wall, you notice what looks like a telegraph set. We have 2 choices. We can ask about the telegraph immediately, or make small talk with Mr. Winters first. So, ask about the telegraph, or small talk. Small talk. Alright, so 49. The pot begins to gurgle as you exchange pleasantries with Mr. Winters. Living here, it's a trade-off, like so much in life. He looks past you at the high shelf. I could wish for success for a proper library, of course, but I know myself well enough. I'm strictly a dabbler, and the city's... His face wrinkles in distaste. Too many people. Everybody rushing and shouting. We have a special place here in Emberhead, and someone must accept responsibility for keeping it so. That was my father before me, and now the duty falls to me. He lifts his chin and straightens up. This evening, as the sun sets, look out at the landscape around the village. We have peace up here, halfway to the stars. Are we not privileged? Is this not worth the hardships we must accept? He looks at you speculatively. This seems a good time to ask about the telegraph. Okay. The telegraph? Much as we value... Excuse me. The telegraph? Much as we value our isolation, we do need the link sometimes. Were you hoping to send a message? I must apologize. The line's been down for 2 weeks. I reported the fault, but of course, there's not so speedy when the problem lies in a rural area. I'm expecting a repair the day after next. I do appreciate how frustrating this must be. The coach is due in, 3 days? But I think he's going west. Perhaps you might engage a wagon? One of the farmers might. You explain that you have asked a few of the residents already, but to no avail. I tell you what. Winters pours you a steaming cup of coffee. The dark liquid smells rich and strong. When the repair crew arrive, I'll ask them to take you back with them. How would that be? They might want $1 or $2 to grease the wheels. The day after tomorrow? It's less than ideal, but it's the first real opportunity you've had. Alright, we can thank Mr. Winters and leave, or ask him about his library. So, we can leave. Alright, ask about the library. Cool. So that's going to be 62. You make a small but flattering remark about a couple of the volumes on his shelves. Winters blushes with pleasure. Well, of course, they're not my personal collection. They belong to the village, he says. But I did select most of the recent items. This is the community's library, you see. I put up the private sign to stop people just wandering in from meetings in the other room, but this is really a public space. You scan the shelves. There's a sparse but respectable collection on mathematics and the sciences, passable sections on history and arts, and a shelf of literature. He has a few low-brow novels tucked away in a corner with tatty copies of Bizarre Tales magazine. Quality does not always equate to popularity, I'm afraid. Winters gives you an apologetic smile. Alright, we can take time to do some research in the library or leave while there's still light outside. So do we want to do some reading or do we want to leave? Research. Alright, we're doing some research. So, 60. Oh, you both agree. Excellent. Winters is happy for you to spend the rest of the afternoon in study and offers you an upright but comfortable chair. You have enough time to pursue one line of research. So, do we want to read about the history of the area, the festival, something from sciences, or something from weird fiction? So, history, festival, sciences, weird fiction. Festival. All right. So that's 81. You're not surprised to find there is no published work on Emberhead's festival. Winters pokes around and finds a cased monograph handwritten on yellowing paper by a Dr. Anielski. Anielski? An acquaintance of my father's, I believe, Winters says. The manuscript is somewhat difficult to read, and you make slow progress. Anielski speculates that the festival has its origin in pagan rites brought over by Celtic settlers, which celebrate the ancient festivals of Beltane, Samhain, Imbolc, and, I can never say this one, Lunazda. I'm just gonna say Lunasad? Lunasad. Gosh, I hope I'm saying that one right. I can never pronounce that one. There is some discussion of the struggle between the seasons and a couple of oblique references to the alignment in Emberhead. Anielski suggests that the meaning of the festival slowly changed around the turn of the century. The monograph terminates mid-sentence at the end of page 28, just as it begins to discuss the modern practices. You ask Winters if he has the remaining pages. No, I'm afraid those have been misplaced, he says. Perhaps they are still in the library somewhere, but... He shrugs. I must make time for a thorough stock take. So, 99. So, as suspected, it's a pagan festival. The afternoon wears on. You have not quite finished your reading when Winters glances out of the window and stands up. He clears his throat. All right. Make a credit rating roll. What's our credit rating? 40. Okay. So to make this, we need to get under 40. 34! We made a roll! Yay! Woo! Alright, so if we succeed, go to 111. Alrighty. I'm happy to leave you in charge. I'm happy to leave you in charge for a half hour or so. He smiles. Please don't issue any books without a valid library card. You thank Winters for his trust and continue with your reading for a time. As the light dims, you find yourself yawning in the closeness of the room. Perhaps it's time for a change of material. Alright, so we need to make a spot hidden roll. What was that again? 50%. Alright. We need to make another roll. Darn it. Yeah, 59. So once again, not making it. But we made the last one. Let's see. So if we succeed, if we fail, 124. I don't poop. Poop nuggets. The door opens and Winters re-enters the library. He wears a small, satisfied smile. His gaze shifts to you, where you stand at the shelves. Exhausted our stock already? Of course we accept donations, he chuckles. I'm afraid it's closing time. You leave the building with Winters and wait as he locks up. You thank him for the coffee and access to the library. He strolls away down Silbury Street. What was that? 180. As the light fades, you return to the Ledbetter house and eat a light supper. May is unusually taciturn. Ruth's eyes flick to you several times during the meal. There's an urgency there you cannot quite interpret. Afterwards, May ushers the girl into their room. You've been in Emberhead for barely one whole day, and you already feel confined by it, both geographically and socially. The evening seems to offer little. Alright, we can go stargazing, attempt to speak to Ruth. Oh, that's it. Those are our two options. So we can go stargazing or attempt to speak to Ruth. What shall we do? Attempt to speak. Alrighty. So, 138. In time, May returns to the kitchen and busies herself cleaning up. To speak to Ruth, you will need to get May to leave for a short while. You help with the dishes and try to think of some ruse. In time, an idea comes to you, asking about Silas and his friends in the village. May narrows her eyes. He knows Troy on the other side of town, she says. Not sure I'd call them friends. More like an old feuding couple. But he probably spent last night at Troy's place. You ask May if she could visit Troy and ask if Silas mentioned any plans to return. May looks dubious. Right now? She asks. Alright, without looking at your investigator sheet, decide how best to influence May by appealing to her emotions, by explaining how further delay threatens your career, or by trying to rush her into compliance. Alright. Do we want to appeal to her emotions, explain about our career, or rush her into compliance? So 1, 2, or 3. You can type just 1, 2, or 3 in the chat, and that'll work. Emotion. All right. So we need to do charm. We need to make a charm check, which is 50. We have a 50% chance. Come on, dice! Oh, hold on. I dropped the blue. Oh! That's a 9! Not only did we make it, but we super made it! Yeah! The charm. Cool. So if we succeed, we go to 145. Trying to lower the music. I like your hat. Thank you, Dupree. Alright, 145. Well, I suppose it'll only take a few minutes. May fetches a coat and heads out into the night. You give her time to get clear, then rap on the bedroom door. Nothing comes but silence. Then feet pat across the floor, and the door opens a few inches. Ruth's eyes stare through the gap, glancing from left to right. You explain her mother has left the house and ask what has been bothering her. Those eyes flick up to stare at you. It's tomorrow, she whispers. Same as every year. They took my da. They'll take you if you let them. The conviction in her eyes is chilling. You press her. Who is she talking about? All of them. Everyone. They've been watching since you got here. You're marked. Her voice is hollow. 1 year, when I'm older, they'll take me. You hear footsteps approaching from outside. Ruth's eyes flash and the bedroom door slams. You turn back to drying the dishes. May enters and removes her coat. The man's a waste of time, she hisses and heads through to the bedroom. You may checkmark the small box beside the skill you used. Oh, okay. So we need to checkmark charm. I don't know why, but check. Okay. Alrighty. So we're going to 157. I'm a little bit worried we're gonna get sacrificed or something, guys. Oh no! The familiar surroundings of your guest room are becoming constrictive. The neat bed, small wardrobe, and dressing mirror have the feel of a prison cell about them. What are you still doing here in Emberhead? Your new life is elsewhere. You lie on the bed and stare at a small crack in the ceiling. You turn over the day's events, thinking through the little details you spotted. You're certainly weary from the elevation and the fresh air, but do you still feel safe here? Alright. We can either fall asleep or stay awake. Yep, burned on a fire. Alright, do we fall asleep or do we stay awake? Awake. Alright, we stay awake, says Dupree. So, 2:30. Sleep presses down on you. Wait. Oh yeah, okay. Sleep presses down on you. You blink it back and sit up, trying to think through your situation. Everything in Emberhead seems to be working to stop you leaving. Perhaps the answer is to strike out at first light, to walk as far and as fast as you can. You can always return for your possessions, and if you lose them, you have nothing so precious that it would not be replaced. A tiny creak draws your attention to the other side of the room. Slowly, almost silently, the doorknob is turning. Ooh! Ooh! Grab it and wrench the door open, or pretend to sleep. So do we grab the doorknob, or do we pretend to sleep? Grab the door. Okay. Grab the door. Here we go. Oh no! So it's 2:48. You heave the door open, ready for a confrontation. May stands on the other side, wrapped in her bed jacket. She steps back in alarm. You seemed not yourself, she stammers. I wanted to check on you. You assure May you are fine. You're fine. Health and... Sorry, I'm not reading that right. You assure May you are in fine health and watch as she returns to her own bedroom. Once the door has closed, you borrow a kitchen chair to wedge under your door handle. Perhaps this piece of fortification will permit you a few hours of restful sleep. Spoopy. What's she doing? You awaken to the sound of feet in the street outside. Your night's rest has brought a new determination. Today, you will meet Emberhead on your own terms. Alright, so 64. The Ledbetter kitchen is empty, although bread and eggs have been laid out for your breakfast. There is a note from May explaining that she has taken Ruth out for a few hours. Ooh. Let's see. So 78. You make a quiet circuit of the village, pausing in unobtrusive places to watch the villagers. It is rather busy for this time of the morning. Yawning locals stream back and forward along the roads, carrying bundles of split logs to the site of what you've heard referred to as the beacon. You see two figures already up in its superstructure, arranging the wood. The festival bonfire will be most impressive, but do you intend to stay to see it? You suspect by now something is amiss here. While the villagers are distracted, you may do some illicit investigations, or you may simply leave town without looking back. Alright, we've got 5 options here. Search May Ledbetter's bedroom, go to the village hall, take a closer look at the artisan's courtyard, spy on the activity at the beacon, or slip down to the east road and flee for good. So search the bedroom, go to the hall, go to the artisan's courtyard, watch the beacon, or leave town. Flee! Oh, all right, two for flee. So we gonna try to flee. The three for flee guys are like, I'm out. As you approach the southern road that descends to the lower ridge, you see 4 villagers blocking the route, with farm tools and clubs. You veer off and head towards the west road. Your heart sinks as you see exactly the same scene at the other exit from the village. You are trapped. Ah! Let's see. Try to talk your way past one of the guard groups, or try to slip past in disguise. Or do you know another way to leave the village? Okay. So, we can try and talk our way out, or we can try and slip past in disguise. Oh, interesting, Jackie. I've never heard of that. Talk? Alright, let's try and talk. So, 119. The southern group appears less sharp than the western group. You stride up to them and explain they are needed at the beacon. They look dubious. You offer to watch the road for them and hold out your hand for a pitchfork. Nah, you come with us, says the first one. His ape-like brow bends into a frown. Alright, so we're going to make an extreme fast talk roll. This roll is equal to or less than 1/5 of the skill. Ooh, the number is in the lower right box. If you succeed, okay. This is a fast talk. Fast. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. So we basically need to get under 3% to make this check. We have not been doing well. So we're gonna shake our dice a little bit. Well, that's a 32. Oh, not even a 32. My bad. That's a 92. So totally opposite end of the spectrum that we needed. So, if you fail, go to 139. These locals are not as stupid as you think. They grab you and march you back into the center of the village. Alrighty. The fading light from a narrow window tells you afternoon is giving away to evening. Your hands are shackled behind your back so you cannot cannot even lie down on the rough bed. A woman you have not seen before comes in. Her face is wrinkled and her eyes dull. They do not meet yours, but she puts a cup to your lips. Do we accept the drink or reject it? Accept. All right. So 104. You drink from the cup. It holds cool, refreshing water, which you gulp down. When it is empty, she turns to leave. You speak to her, but she steps outside and closes the door. Later, you try yelling. Your voice must be audible outside, but it has no effect. Seems the entire village is involved. So 205. As the light fades outside, your little prison becomes dark. You can hear much activity around the building. Occasionally, an orange glow passes the window. The only comfortable position in the shackles seems to be to sit against the end of the bed with your arms dangling behind you. You need to concentrate and come up with a plan. There is clearly no escape from your bonds. You do not know exactly what your captors want from you, but you cannot ignore the fact that they have spent the entire day constructing a massive bonfire. Oh no. Oh no. 27. The door scrapes, wrenching you back into the moment. Orange light spills into the house from blazing torches held at the threshold. 2 large villagers step in and grab you. At least you assume they are villagers. They wear heavy black cloaks, and their faces and hands are painted entirely black, save only for a red triangle centered on their left eye. You try to drag your legs, but they reach under your arms and lift you bodily from the bed. Outside, it seems that the whole village has congregated to see you. Every single one has a blackened face with a red triangle motif. Torches sputter and spill fire. You struggle, but you can see physical resistance is hopeless. You are marched to the center street and turned to face the beacon. Shackles instead of rope, right? It was like, dang it. 117. Is that you right? Right, Asher? Oh no. The procession down the approach is slow and formal, save when you sense weakness and yank at your captors. A chill touches you when you see 3 human shapes carried ahead of you, draped in red cloth. The beacon looms larger and larger, its dreadful silhouette a black triangle pointing to the stars. A low drone begins among the cloaked figures. Unbidden, the word mourners comes to mind. Smoke from their torches makes you cough. You feel heat on your face. As you reach the cleared area around the beacon, 3 dancers break from the pack. Young girls swinging balls of fire in spectacle arcs, drawing circles in the night air. One by one, they draw close to you and touch your forehead with sooty fingers. Each kisses you 3 times on the left cheek, right cheek, then forehead. Then they whisper in your ear. The smell of kerosene fills your nostrils. Alright, so we need to make an appearance check. Weird. That's a weird check. If we succeed... Okay, so what's our... Alright, 50. This is another 50-50 roll, guys. We have not been doing well with the 50-50 rolls. True to form. 56. We needed to be under 50. Dang it. Alright, so if you fail, 148. Let's see. Through your sacrifice, the village will be reborn, says the first answer. You pass from earth to air for all our sakes, says the second. Through incandescence may you find rapture, says the third. Their dance weaves off and disappears behind the buildings. It's getting intense. As you arrive beneath the beacon, 10 villagers close in on you, working with surprising coordination. They immobilize you and lift you up to the blackened iron stairs to the raised platform. You cannot help but shiver at the sight of the central framework, twisted from past blazes, and what you can now clearly see to be fastening points for chain. None of the eyes meet yours as they lash you to the metal. The village sings now, something rhythmic and ancient, carved from old syllables. A second group ascends to the beacon, carrying the 3 red-draped bodies. With reverence, they arrange their burdens in a triangle around your feet. Then they withdraw, leaving you alone in the dead, shin-deep in a sea of kindling. It seems the entire village is gathered around the beacon to watch you burn. Behind the face paint you recognize May Ledbetter, and yes, that is Silas, the coach driver, standing at her side. The audacity and scale of the deception staggers you. A man steps up on a dais and raises his hands with quiet authority. The frame of his spectacles obscures the red triangle on his face. So we draw here together again on this night, as we do each year, and we give thanks to the one who will perceive the village against the fire of the void. Oh, not perceive, preserve. I can't read! Let's try that again. So we draw here together again on this night, as we do each year, and we give thanks to the one who will preserve the village against the fire of the void. You will be taken by the ones from above in our stead. Your death will bring life to our streets and bounty to our fields. It will safeguard our children and our elders alike for another year. We salute you. He bows his head. All around the beacon, bearers step forward and lift their torches to the edge of the raised platform. A ring of tiny flames flicker up around the perimeter. As they wink, the singing of the villagers drops into an unearthly rhythm. All right. So we have two options. We could throw all our remaining strength against the bonds, or wait and see what happens. So 1 or 2? Strength or wait? One. All right. Never give up, never surrender. You're tired, and your flesh ought to be insufficient against the dark iron of the chains, yet you can feel them give a little, and there is a weakness in one of the links. Alright, we have to make a hard strength roll. So our strength is 60, but a hard roll is half, so 30. We have to try and get under 30. 77. Why? Even if it was a normal check, we wouldn't have made it. Alright, well, what do we get if we fail? 40. You burn to death. Good try. Play again next time. The flames snake across the kindling, catching and rising. Smoke rises and it becomes difficult to see the villagers. The 3 bodies surrounding you catch fire, blazing with sooty red flames. You begin to cough as the smoke enters your lungs and fight down the urge to panic. Let's see. Nope, I have not learned a strange chance, so we have to move to 65. Flames lick at your legs, your eyes water, you're shrouded in smoke. It might be your imagination, but you think you can feel a slight give in the chains. You throw yourself against them, giving no thought to how they might bite your wrists. Okay, take 1d6 hit points of damage from the fire. Alright, let's roll our damage. Watch us roll a 6. Four. Oof. Alright. So we take 4 points of damage. So we have 5. Let's see, if this reduces you to 0, you collapse and are burned to death. The end. Okay, well, it does not reduce us to 0. Otherwise, make a strength roll. Okay, strength roll. Our strength is 60. Come on, dice. We just need under 60. Come on, baby. Are you kidding me? We just got the same thing we just rolled. 77. What? What are the odds? It's a freaking D100. And we got 77 twice in a row. Oh no. Alright, well, 77 is the number that we're reading next. That's kind of freaky. The chains give a little more. You feel that you could overcome them if you only had a little more time. But as you feel the flesh on your legs char, the fire spreads up your jacket and licks at your face. You know you have run out of time. You have burned to death on the beacon. Why not try again? By making different choices, you may be able to escape or outwit the people of Emberhead. The end. Well, the adventures of Nevada Jones and this creepy pagan festival where we burned at the stake